Hey everyone, I'm sorry, I know this might be an unpopular opinion with some of you, but guys, support characters are freaking wild right now. I made a video a few weeks ago saying that support characters are now the most important role in the game, and I think that's true, but I think at the time I hadn't fully digested what this all meant or like where this was going. Right now, many support characters do just as much damage as DPS characters, but can freaking heal themselves or run away. And they also have a hacks ability of some kind, whether it's sleeping you or Suzuing or immortality field or anything like that. So it's the damage, the self-healing, and the hacks abilities they have. As a Doom main, and I've said this before in previous videos, diving on a support character now is much more dangerous than diving on a DPS character. And I don't think that's okay. I have not seen that in a video game before. So now I changed my tactic and mainly dive on DPS characters, which tends to work out more because I know that if I dive on a DPS character, the only thing they can do is damage. They are not going to heal themselves. They're not just going to teleport, and they'll have some hacks ability that's going to discord me or put me to sleep. But even with that, when you dive on a DPS character, you have both of the support characters healing that DPS character. So it's I think the entire system is just kind of broken a little. And in my opinion, I think the way to fix it so that they're not just DPS characters that can do everything is to mainly focus on their hacks abilities instead of just the raw damage of their kit. There was an interview once with one of the main developers of Overwatch 2, and he said himself that he was trying to make sure that, well, he was trying to make support class fun to play, right? Because this was back when, you know, everybody had like all support characters were having like a hard time playing the game because everybody called it like Death by Daylight or something like that. And he specifically said he wanted to make sure that they don't just fix this by making the support characters DPS characters that can heal, and that is exactly what they are now. I don't think anybody making a tier list for season 3 has the support characters like evenly distributed between S, A, and B. I think maybe one or two characters you can say are probably B, being Lucio and Moira, but everybody else is at least A. Everybody else is at least A. And that's insane. They're the only role in the game that all of them are good and they do everything now. And this does give me a lot of concern for the next two heroes that have already been confirmed to be support characters. Probably going to be Overlord, right? Because, you know, I think they're like kind of doubling back on everybody's storyline. We got Junker Queen from the storyline of Junkrat. We got Kiriko from the whole Genji Hanzo background, Sojourn from the main Overwatch team. So I think the only thing left is the bad guys and the Diva storyline. So because they don't necessarily all interact with each other like that much, there's like several different groups. So as for now, I'll say that I think Brig and Lucio and maybe even Zen are fine. Zen, I don't really mind the Discord, but I would say those three I can see being fine. So I'm just gonna run down the line, just kind of give a brief summary of like all the other support characters and kind of see where, you know, what you guys think about it. So first, Mercy. Thank God Mercy is not OP when it comes to damage. Mercy's new increased healing for characters under 50 HP is insane. It's absolutely insane. Not just because she now has a burst healing that matches a lot of the DPS that could be done on certain characters. We've all seen that she out heals the damage that a Winston can do on certain characters. And this is not just Winston. There's like a lot of other characters like that she just completely out heals the damage that they can put on a character. But she has that and can revive. Reviving on its own is already a very powerful move. Yes, it's hard to pull off at higher levels, but even still, it's an erase button for an entire play, and she's still very elusive. Nowhere near as elusive as she was before, because they did nerf the whole Guardian Angel thing, which I'm pretty sure they're going to reverse based off of the last developer interview, but she is still very elusive. I mainly kill her after she's jumped to a soul to res them, but outside of that, she's incredibly hard to kill, because now, before you could kind of shoot her to prevent the passive skill of her self-heal from activating, but now she's healing herself the entire time she's healing other people. She's literally always healing herself. So she has great burst healing, can revive a teammate, still has power boost, she's still very elusive, and is always healing herself. This is a problem. You can't kill like several characters. You can't do enough damage to beat them. Even if you get your combo perfectly right, which when you do your combo correctly, you should be rewarded. But her healing just completely outmatches the damage you can do with just holding a button. And I think that's a problem. Now let's talk about Ana. And oh my gosh, Ana honestly is kind of what inspired this video. Ana is a demon. She doesn't have the same consistent DPS as a DPS character, but for a short burst of time, she does. Imagine me as a Doomfist approaching an Ana. Let's say she gets a shot in, and we all know each of her shots now do a lot of damage. But yeah, I attack her and maybe get a slam in, and she sleeps me. And oh boy, the sleep. She sleeps me and sets up. Not only am I essentially considered dead for a few seconds because I can't really do anything, you are left on the floor helpless to watch her team slowly approach you to do to you what Lex Steel used to do to Ava Divine. But let's say the team doesn't approach you. For 1 second, with one combo, Ana does just as much damage as a DPS character, with no ability for you to retaliate. In short, if you're not a tank, you're dead. If you are a tank, you survive the initial combo, but now you're naded and the team has surrounded you and, well, Lex Steel style. In the contrary, against a McCree, I just need to attack him first and he's dead. Same with Junkrat, same with Widow, same with Soldier, same with almost every other DPS character. Support is now more dangerous and has better survivability than DPS characters, and that's weird. I think that's very weird. Now for Baptiste. In my last season 3 rankings video, I had him as A tier. This man is S tier, and I've seen it more and more as I kept playing. If you get good enough with Baptiste, I've played games where the Baptiste has 10k damage, over 10k damage, and over 10k healing. Plus, he has his immortality field that now lets anyone in there keep a freaking quarter of their health. It's not enough that everybody in the mortality field was lucky enough to be alive, but they buffed it to the point where since you have a quarter of your health now and his AoE healing ability, I think it doubles the healing you have under 50 HP. It might as well just bring everybody up. you can't die, and then he does the AoE healing thing, and everybody's just back up. And there's like no consequences for this. Now, granted, he does have to save his immortality field, but he has all of those, but also does more damage than DPS characters, or as much damage as DPS characters. The only saving grace for this, in my opinion, is that he's very, very mechanically hard to play. So this might be much more okay. I think this one might be much more okay just because he's incredibly hard to play mechanically, as in you know what you have to do, but switching back and forth between healing, there's a whole rhythm to it. But for when he does want to kill you, he has the option to kill you like any other DPS character can kill you. And he also can heal himself and immortality field himself. Like even then, like it's so much. It's just so much for him to be able to do as much damage as a soldier while healing himself and having the immortality field. And healing himself quickly, because Soldier has the ability to heal himself, but you can kill a Soldier pretty easily out when he's in his healing area. But Baptiste, no, like he doesn't die. And he has several ways to heal himself. And a few years ago, they discovered that he has more DPS than Soldier. Soldier, a DPS character, and I think they might have changed that, but I'm not entirely sure. But he still does a ton of damage and heals a lot with an immortality field.
Hey everyone, if you're still watching, it means you're probably enjoying the video. So please like and subscribe, and maybe leave a message too, as it helps for the algorithm, which helps me keep making these videos. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter to keep up with everything. And if you have a chance, check out my Patreon. It's one of the best ways to support the channel to allow me to keep doing what I do. So yeah, thanks everyone.
Next is Mora. Mora is more okay than others, mainly because she doesn't really have any hacks abilities. The main problem with Mora is just how simple she is to play while consistently out DPSing and healing. She does a hell of a lot of damage and has her ult every 2 seconds, but it's not like oppressive or anything. Also, she has a get out of jail escape move, but you can kind of play around that pretty easily because, you know, she presses the button to escape. But kind of like when you get used to fighting a Tracer, you kind of just know where she's going to end up being. So you just kind of follow her and, you know, take her out. The amount of healing and damage she does is a lot for how simple she is. But I guess that she's not that egregious, in my opinion. And last is Kiriko. You already know. And what's interesting about Kiriko isn't really her ability to damage. And yeah, when I play Kiriko and if someone dies on me, I don't feel helpless. I don't feel scared. Like, I know I can defend myself. I just have to, you know, believe in myself to focus on their head. But it's nothing crazy. However, Suzu, as we all know, is insane. I just played a game where I was Genji and our tank was Junker Queen. And son, our Junker Queen was not allowed to have an ultimate ability. Like, Kiriko shuts down almost every offensive ultimate with a click of a button. But it's a weird way of combining her ability to teleport and turn things off that kind of makes her have, in a way, in a cycle of cooldowns, 3 moves that make her invulnerable. Because she can Suzu, because she can, if you're attacking her, she can teleport, and then she can Suzu, and then by the time her Suzu cooldown is back, she could have teleported twice, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. And each of those, they're almost instant moves. They're almost instant moves, and she's still strong, and she has such a strong escape. So why, you know, use your resources on attacking her while, you know, she's just gonna get away? And even as playing as Doomfist, like, I've played some games where I'm also not allowed to have an ultimate. Like, it's crazy. And actually, I wrote this right after the game I had with the Junker Queen, because I felt so bad for our Junker Queen, dog. Like, she couldn't do anything. She just couldn't do anything. And on top of that, she has the best ultimate in the game and can mega crit you if she hits you in the head. Like you guys already know, she has everything. She's probably the best character in the game right now. And yeah. And like I said before, Brig is fine, right? Because she does a ton of damage, but her healing, unless she's fighting, it's just non-existent. So I think it's kind of a fair restriction, in my opinion. Lucio does okay healing, but to everybody at the same time, and he's very elusive, and you know, if he's running away, he's not really healing, because, you know, a lot of Lucios do you have to be wall riding to, you know, stay elusive with the speed boost and everything. So I think that's fine. Zen is so easy to kill, it almost doesn't matter that he can explode a character, including tanks. So I think I don't really have much of a problem with him either. So yeah, I think this is a problem, and I hope they fix this, because I think it's getting bad. As a diving tank, I shouldn't be preferring to attack DPS characters over support characters, because support characters have as much DPS, self-healing, hacks mechanics, and the ability to run away that make it very difficult to engage with. While DPS characters, they just have damage and they have nothing else. And yeah, like I said earlier, I think the solution is to focus on their hacks abilities and not kind of go too deep into the whole damage part of it. Anyways, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And don't forget, I love you.